Mariner Books and Harper Audio present The Big Sort: Why the Clustering of Like-Minded America is Tearing Us Apart, by Bill Bishop. Read by Graham Halstead. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider. It contains maps and figures from the book and will be referred to throughout as the enhancement. For Julie Artery and Francis Cushing. Introduction. Most of us make at least 3 important decisions in our lives: where to live, what to do, and with whom to do it. Daniel Gilbert, Stumbling on Happiness. My wife and I made the move to Austin, Texas in the way of middle-class American migrants. We rented a Ford Taurus at the airport, bought an Austin map at a U-Totem quick stop, and toured the city in search of a place to live. We didn't have a list of necessities, granite countertops, or schools with killer SATs, as much as we had a mental image of the place we belonged. We drove, and when a place felt comfortable, seemed right, my wife, the daughter of one of Kentucky's last New Deal liberals, drew a smiley face on the map. We didn't intend to move into a community filled with Democrats, but that's what we did, effortlessly and without a trace of understanding about what we were doing. We bought a house on one of those smiley-face streets, a shady neighborhood of dog walkers, Jane Jacobs-approved front porches, bright paint, bowling ball yard art, and "You keep believing, we'll keep evolving" bumper stickers. In 2000, George W. Bush, then the governor of Texas, took 60% of the state's vote. But in our patch of Austin, Bush came in third, behind both Al Gore and Ralph Nader. 4 years later, 8 out of 10 of our neighbors voted for John Kerry. Our neighborhood is one of the friendliest I've encountered. It is in some ways more like the rural Texas town where we lived for a time, publishing the weekly newspaper, than a community on the edge of the central city. We have potlucks in the park and movies for the kids. A woman down the street organizes outdoor concerts to raise money, so the toddlers' pool in the neighborhood park stays wet and open into the torrid Texas September. We take just as much pride in our politics. Soon after the invasion of Iraq, our neighbors held a meeting and decided to print anti-war T-shirts and bumper stickers. The agreed-upon slogan promoted both place and policy. It said simply, 78704 Peace. In Austin, zip codes have political meaning. I live in a place where any event holds the potential for political expression, even a neighborhood house fire. On a summer afternoon, I happened on a slew of red trucks and hoses wet and slithering across a street. Firefighters were dousing the spooky Victorian on the corner. The commotion had drawn out the neighbors and a television news crew. The owners of the smoldering house had been rehabbing the structure for years, and it was beginning to shape up. The house was big and yellow, but I remembered it mostly because it sported a large peace sign dangling from the peak of a 3rd-story window. The sign was 5 feet across and wrapped with Christmas twinkle lights. I commiserated with a woman walking 2 dogs. She had noticed the peace sign too. Holding the leashes in one hand, she motioned toward the TV cameraman. "I hope he gets the peace sign in the picture," she said. "After all, it's Travis Heights." Far from avoiding politics as a topic of discussion in neighborly talks, Travis Heights encourages it. That the woman could speak comfortably to me about politics evinces the solidarity of the people who live here. It was simply understood that we agreed about the peace sign, and about all the issues and ways of life the peace sign represented. Our like-mindedness was a comfort, a shortcut to intimacy. It can also be a shortcut to conflict. We have a neighborhood internet list server in South.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?